What's up YouTube? This is Tom with Fresh Vintage. Today we have another Carabc unit. This is specifically a mini AI box, and we actually had a friend reach out. He said, hey, I bought one of these, could you guys help me put it together and get it hooked up to the truck? So that's what we're going to do today. This one actually calls out Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so we literally have not opened it yet. So we're going to open it up, see what's inside the box, and then get it hooked up in the truck right now. There we go. So inside here, if this is anything like the one we did before, there's an actual Carabc unit, and I'm now remembering just how tight this box was. There we go. There we go. So we have our instruction manual, and we're gonna put this in here. And this one's actually shaped a little different. The other one we had was circular. This one has a Type-C USB port on there, and what looks like a micro USB or a micro SD slot right there. So with that, let's see what else is in here. Okay, pretty cut and dry, USB-A to USB-C, and we actually have an adapter A to C. So let's go ahead and get this hooked into the truck and get started. Inside the truck here, we have the Carabc unit, and these again are very simple to hook up. The owner of this truck has already been projecting Android Auto from his S23 Ultra onto the screen of the Alpine unit here. So this is really as simple as taking this and plugging it into the existing USB cable going into the back side of the stereo. And then from here, plugging this in. And this is where you may have a little bit of like step-by-step. This should work in theory. We should be able to hook it up, connect the Bluetooth, and it works. If it doesn't, there's a good chance you'll have to update the firmware in here. And that's my suspicion, is we're gonna have to update the firmware, and it's a pretty easy process. But we're gonna go ahead and turn the Bluetooth on and see if it connects right now. In the little instruction manual here, it actually says for Bluetooth and Android, it actually says HiBox. You can't really see it that well, HiBox. But we found HiBox with the Bluetooth. So we're going to pair that right now. It's actually connecting on the screen. It looks like it's going into Android Auto right now, so we'll find out in a moment. Okay, so my guess is we have to update the firmware, because this is exactly how the other one for the iPhone and Apple CarPlay went. We'll be right back. We're going to update the firmware right now. Okay, so this is obviously not the truck we were in, but in the effort to update the firmware, we downloaded the update.zip file off of Carabc's site, and from there, we're actually in Jay's car right now on his Jensen radio, and we're extracting that update.zip to hopefully actually update the firmware on this Carabc HiBox unit. Okay, we have it figured out here, folks. This explains put a update.zip in the root directory of your SD card. What they're talking about here is you need to put the update.zip on the micro SD card, and you have to get it into the actual base directory, the lowest possible directory on a SD card, which means the lowest possible directory. So you want it in no folders at all, just sitting on the SD card, and there it is right there. So that when I come back out of here and I go to the home screen, it sees that update.zip, and it actually says firmware updating. So we're going to go ahead and click install, and this is where you don't want to touch it. Breathe as little as possible. I'm joking, of course, but just let it sit here and update. It's going to update over the next minute or two, and it's actually doing the latest version of firmware, and so fingers crossed that will actually allow Android Auto to work from my phone through this wirelessly. Okay, so update 100 here. I'm joking, but kind of. So HiBox unit, a Carabc HiBox unit is installed. We updated the firmware. Android Auto is up and functional here. We got to this screen. How we got here is we have the Bluetooth connected to this. I have a hotspot to the radio right now, and actually a Wi-Fi hotspot is connected. So these are connected via Wi-Fi hotspot. I also had to hook up to a local Wi-Fi connection on my personal cell phone. So once we had all of that, and we actually restarted the Android Auto on the HiBox via the screen here, about probably the second or third time, we got to Android Auto here. So I'm gonna hit continue. Needs to turn on notification access from your phone. Go to phone, unsafe, check your phone for details. There we go. Okay, Android Auto. Allow notification access. Change your location settings. So I'm going to turn the location on in my phone. So there's my location. And there we go. Now we are functioning. And tap here, say, hey Google. Okay. So we have our neighborhood here, and I can actually access YouTube Music. Please sign in. Okay, so you would have to sign into YouTube Music. And looking at the greater apps here, these are actually a projection of most of the apps on my phone. Some of them anyway. So I could actually get into my text messages here. There's weather, but it is actually functioning. Okay, so overall, Carabc HiBox, great little unit, mini AI box. It's actually projecting an Android-based operating system onto the screen here. And in this case, we have Android Auto. It actually has CarPlay functionality, so if you have Apple CarPlay, you could use that as well. But if you like Chargers and Mustangs, if you like DIY repair, if you like tech, if you like Hyperfest, and you like all the rest of the muscle cars and horsepower, Fresh Vintage is your channel. Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.